Believe that. You hear me? Now I'm gonna get straight to the point, right? Right. The Minnesota Vikings must do whatever, pay whatever they have to keep Brian Flores in the building. Oh man, Flo, don't go. I repeat, Flo, please don't go. Now, with that being said, you must understand, understand who Brian Flores is a coach, right? So let me break it on down in the boogie downtown. Now, Brian Flores came, took the Viking job because he wasn't scared, because he wanted the smoke. You know, he came into a job, he kind of damn near came into turmoil with lack of talent, with the previous defensive coordinator, right, that had ruined the organization, ruined this defense. So he came in really against all odds. Then boom, what did he do? Continued to work, started to work, right, started to grind, started to acquire some personnel. But at the end of the day, he still doesn't have to this day the personnel he really wants. I stand on that 10 toes down, dog. No cap. I mean, you see it from bird's eye view, you see it from clear view, up close and personal, baby. Right, right. The eye test tells it all, and the eye test has told it all from jump. The lack of talent is definitely evident in the secondary. Boom, on certain parts, in certain parts of the trenches, right? Boom. So at the end of the day, Brian Flores has had a high level of success without having great talent. That just shows you what he does, what he brings to the table, right? As a coach, you understand now why he was a head coach and why he was on his way to being a successful head coach, point blank, period. Right, right. You can't really tell me no different. Now the NFL got mad, correct? The Dolphins, whoever other teams, I'm sure, got mad. But Brian Flores, you got to respect the fact as well, right? He stood on 10, huh? Yeah, bitch, yeah. Come on now. He stood on 10, huh? And what he believed in, what he felt was right or what he felt was wrong. And he went against the league and not wrong. And you can't be mad at him if they trying to hold that against him. That's piss poor and it shouldn't be allowed. Period, dog. No cap. But Brian Flores has proved who he is, definitely as a coach, as a leader of players. Huh? His potential. Sky's the limit. Matter of fact, there's no limit for that man, dog. And you see the Vikings continue to get better and better and better. I mean, damn. You look at the way the Vikings are playing right now, huh? At this point in the season, I said it numerous times. This is a Super Bowl caliber defense. The offense should be ashamed, right? I repeat, the offense should be ashamed of how they perform this season. And once again, boom, it starts with KOC. He took so long, I mean, so long to get out of his ego, stop being stubborn, etc., etc., etc. Took him so long, took forever, man, forever to understand who he had as a quarterback, what he needed to do to mold and develop and help his quarterback grow. He did none of that, dog, until what, week 13, 14? Maybe, baby, maybe. That's piss poor, man. Point blank, period, bro. So the offense should definitely be ashamed. They didn't help the defense out at all. Period. No way around it. The defense won many games, if not all the games this year. They always kept the offense in the game, hung around there, and the offense let them down every time. You know? Even with the injuries, right? With the lack of personnel, this is still a top 3 defense in the NFL. Oh man, you can never ignore. I repeat again, never ignore what Brian Flores brings to the table. So the Vikings, the Wolves, whoever. I really hope they understand, right? I really hope they understand how great he really is, huh? Huh? Yeah. What he brings to the table as a defensive coordinator, man. Boom. They pay him whatever. I repeat, pay him whatever he wants, whatever he feels like he has earned. Get that man that. Yeah, he is way more important than KOC or Quasi. Yeah, I said it. Do somebody. You don't like it? Bet. Get at me. I repeat, he is way more beneficial to the Vikings team than Quasi or O'Connell. Yeah, and I'm standing on it. Brian Flores for head coach. Period. I don't care how you feel about it. For real. What he's done with this defense, man. The way the players believe in him, ride for him, dog, right? You know, put it on the line for him every time, yo. Yeah. even after being tired, being on the field the whole season, not getting no help, and they still fight, go out there and play with confidence, man. Boom. On top of that, look what they did to the Lions. Look what they did the last 3 weeks without Metellus versus the Lions, huh? Jonathan Grenard out. Yeah, man. Come on now. With a piss poor secondary for real. Yeah. Questionable. I say questionable, but playing solid right now. Interior defensive line. Yeah. So we can't ignore all these facts. You want to judge and see and pinpoint a real coach. A real coach is Flores. You want to compare, huh? Let's compare them, baby. Let's compare. A real coach is Kyle Shanahan from the 49ers. That's a per example of a real per head coach or coach in general, coordinator, head coach, whatever, defense, offense, whatever. That's the definition of a great coach, Kyle Shanahan. What can you do when players are injured? What can you do when players are out? When your starting quarterback damn near misses the whole season, bro. He got them boys playing great, phenomenal football. So good, they're still competing for a number one spot. Period, man. Boom, that's coaching, man. Putting your players in the right position, the best position to win. Who's their best receiver, huh? Jennings. Yeah, bitch, yeah, and they're overachieving. So I don't want to hear any excuses about injuries this, injuries that. Yeah, they may have better depth than the Vikings in certain areas. I assume, especially on the O line. But at the end of the day, point blank, period. You saw what happens when Kevin O'Connell finally agreed, finally adapted to the fact that he may have to finally adjust to his quarterbacks and change his scheme and get out of his ego and change this offense to cater to JJ McCarthy. And if necessary, Max Brosma or whoever the number two QB2 is in the future. And I feel like Max Brosma can still be a true two. Yeah. I'm not going to put all the bad performance on him. Really study the film. Look at your coach. Look at your O-line. And you tell me, can you really judge Max Brosma, off of that performance? Even the Seattle game, boom, he does a dumb play, dog. Never in history. Probably one of the worst plays, worst decisions, right, in history, dog. No cap. Heavy. But you ask yourself the question, has he learned from it? Has he grown from that huge mistake? And I gotta say, yeah, baby, yeah. You know, the Detroit Lions game when he came in versus the Giants, he managed the game well. You know, didn't do nothing stupid, didn't lose the game for them, period. No cap. Yeah. Now, does he need more growth and development? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But that don't mean you shit can him as your QB2. No. Yeah. I feel like if he's in a system, another year in the KOC O'Connell system, the McCown system, right? Right. I feel like he can thrive as a potential QB2 quarterback, period, bottom line. Now, if the Vikings want to bring in a veteran, all right, cool, do that to compete with him or compete strictly for McCarthy, whoever, whatever the case may be, man. Like I said, I guarantee McCarthy ain't ducking no smoke. So if the Vikings want to bring in a veteran who can compete with him, then so be it. I ain't worried about none of that. I believe in JJ McCarthy fully. Who he is as a player, huh? Yeah. Who he is as a person, huh? Yeah. Is he still growing, still maturing? Hell yeah. 22 years old, man. Young captain rookie, young baller, young dog. Shows you how the players really feel about him at the moment, period. You know, shows you what these coaches really feel about him at the moment, right? Period. And if Quasi is smart, if KOC is smart, they build around him. They build an offense that can thrive with him as the quarterback. You build a team, QB contract, rookie deal. How long have we been asking for this as Vikings fans, right? Wanting to see this, paying Kirk too much. Then boom, you got your rookie now. Quasi, it's in his best interest to do what? Build around this man, McCarthy. He's a dog. Y'all have heard me. You've heard me compare him to John Elway, but more athletic and probably after being more consistent, learning the game, developing more and more, growing into his body, he will have a better arm, a more powerful arm, maybe one of the best powerful arms in the history of the NFL when it's all said and done. But once again, bro, I repeat, right? It starts with KOC, putting him in the best position to win, period, point blank. So we're going to see what happens with that round yonder. Yeah. But Brian Flores, phenomenal. Brian Flores, elite, man. No hesitation, man. No hesitation. If you second guess Flores for 1 minute, you are tripping, tripping, and that's just what it is, homie. Yeah. Can he get better in certain areas of coaching? Hell yeah. Who can't? Huh? KOC for damn sure can. But Brian Flores, if he's not your head coach, all right, cool. Make sure you do whatever you need to do, Wilfs and whoever else, Quasi, to keep him as your defensive coordinator. Yeah. Out of all the coaches who are up for a contract or who want this or who may want that, you make sure Brian Flores, I don't care what none of them talking about, none of them want, right? Right. You make sure Brian Flores is well taken care of first. He's your first priority. No cap. It don't need to be no other way. KOC, all right, he got his extension. Quasi got his extension. Wes Phillips there, boom. McCown there, boom. Matt Daniels, is he questionable or is he safe? Whatever the case may be, right? Boom. But Brian Flores, he's off of contract. Seal and deal it with that man early. You know what he is. You know who he is. He's not a dime dozen. You don't find him every day. You don't find those type of coordinators every day in every way. So you get it done. You get it done. That will play a pivotal role in the success of this team in the future. You know, you do anything, you do what the hell you got to do to keep Ron Flores in the building, man. Bottom line, heavy. Yeah. What he has done has been no less than spectacular, man. For real. You know, name me another coach who could take this defense, weaknesses in certain areas, and still produce year after year, 3 years in a row, a top 5, top 10 defense at least. Come on, bro. Let's stop the cap. Let's be real here and put some respect on Brian Flores' name and his game and his understanding of the game and how he can put his players in certain positions to win. Right, right. Ain't no more, ain't no way around it, baby. No cap. He is who he is, and he is a dog. I repeat, he is who he is, and he is a dog. Yeah, and his defense is full of dogs. Bitch, yeah, huh? Bitch, yeah. You know, come on now. Yeah, man. Uh-huh. So that's my take, my opinion on Brian Flores and what needs to happen and what needs to be. He needs to remain a defensive coordinator, and you may need to give him more room to wiggle, huh? More room to wiggle. Let him get his hands in the pot, hands in the pie. You know, for real. Yeah. Let this defense really explode. Boom, like the 4th of July. You know, you know. Come on, man. Let Brian Flores really get in the mix. I don't know how the collaborations go, but I know they need to have Mo with Flow. Yeah, man, make him happy and get it done, bro. Period. Yeah. Brian Flores has built something special in that building. It's different, and I wanted to keep growing and keep producing high level defenses. Period, man. Till they reach a Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl and make history, baby. History. Yeah, that's what it's about, ain't it? Legacy for players and coaches. You know, now I understand it's a big business, all that, it's all good. But Brian Flores can be patient, huh? Brian Flores can continue to be a DC, huh? Yeah, man. He ain't got a rush to be a head coach. And they may say, oh, Big SKOL, you saying it selfishly. Well, maybe a little bit, baby. Maybe. But at the end of the day, I want him around, dog. I don't want him to go, hey, don't go flow. Don't go flow. My dog, homie, my brother. Yeah. Bitch, yeah. Huh? Come on, bro. Stop the cap, man. Yeah, we run the North. Believe that. And in order to continue to run the North, huh? You got to keep Brian Flores in the building, huh? Right, right. Yeah, man. Hey, fire them comments up. You know what it is, right? Big SKOL here. SKOL Vikes forever, man. Win, lose, or draw. Heavy. Believe that. And guess what? We run the North. Yeah.